It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across the USA and around the world, we are Red Eye Radio. I'm Gary McNamara. He's Eric Harley. Coming up, inflation and tipflation. Americans are looking at the tips now more than ever and saying, I don't know about that. We'll get to that in just a moment. With inflation, we're just 10 days from the beginning of the Masters tournament. And so the menu prices are coming out for if you want to get something to eat at the Masters.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready for this?
All right. What do we have?
An egg salad sandwich at the Masters, $1.50.
That's outrageous.
Pimento cheese sandwich, which they say is the best thing ever, and I've never had one. But
I love pimento cheese.
I mean, that's a tradition, like the egg salad at the Masters that have been around for decades.
I think it's a Southern thing growing up in New York. Did you ever hear was pimento cheese a thing?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I think it's a Southern thing.
But egg salad or pimento cheese sandwich, $1.50. Barbecue sandwich, $3.
Whoa.
Masters Club sandwich, $3. Chicken salad sandwich, $3. Classic chicken sandwich, $3. Ham and cheese on rye, $3. From what I can get, they've got a ton of things that are what the highest cost thing is at the Masters?
What?
White wine, $6. Beers, $5.
Beer, $5.
Beer, $5. Yep.
Wow. At a sporting event?
Yeah, I know.
See, you want to go to the Masters, because of the golf. I'm going there to eat.
Bottled water, $2.
Wow.
Lemonade, soda, soft drinks, $2. Masters Blend fresh brewed coffee. I was just going to say coffee, and I'm like, no, you got to say the entire thing.
Masters Blend, okay. Right.
Masters Blend fresh brewed coffee exclusively for the patrons.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they're patrons.
Oh, yes.
You can get kicked off the broadcast crew if you don't say patrons.
If you say fans?
You can't say fans.
fans.
Oh, no, you can't say fans.
Well, what if I'm a fan of pimento cheese?
That you can say. But the patrons have to be the fan of the pimento cheese.
I'm a patron who's a real fan of pimento cheese.
Yes.
I'd like to patronize a pimento cheese sandwich about right now.
The coffee, $2. Breakfast, chicken biscuit, $2. Breakfast sandwich, $3.
Oh,
Muffin, $1.50. Fresh mixed fruit, $2.
America needs to shop at the Masters.
Well, you can. You can go to the Masters website and you can get all the stuff on the menu.
No way.
For a family. Yeah, you go to the Masters website and you can get. I know they have one package like $179. That feeds
2,000 people. You get at the grocery store for $179. The pimento cheese, but not the bread.
And so when I was just looking at inflation, and they've always had the thing, they said, we want to be different than other sporting events. We want people to have that pleasurable. Right. You never forget it. You walk in, you pay those prices. Yeah. I will say this. I've gone to a few golf tournaments before, but I've only been to one major, and it was the 1980 PGA Championship in Rochester at Oak Hill.
Okay.
All right. Jack Nicklaus won. It was I think it was the major he won before he won the Masters at 46, I believe in 86. And so that was a trip, but that's the one thing that we noticed, that was a major golf tournament. Number one, the number of porta potties that they had. You never had to wait.
Yeah.
You never had to. There wasn't one person in line ever.
That's a good event.
And being when we were young at that point, I would have been, 25, something like that, 24?
Mm-hmm.
all the concerts I'd been to where you're waiting, 3 hours for an outdoor concert to get into the porta potty.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, no, wait, nobody was ever in front of you. And it was concession stands were everywhere, where it wasn't a hassle. It wasn't like, okay, I need to wait 40 minutes before I get something, and I'm going to miss all this action. You went up, got it, boom, you were gone.
I love that. All right, so here's from masters.com. I'm totally going to order some of this stuff. All right, it's a large hosting kit. Serves 12 to 14 or one Eric. $179.95 with free shipping.
Wow.
Feast on tradition as you celebrate the 2024 Masters with our signature pimento cheese, egg salad, pork barbecue, and classic concessions. So for that $179.95, again, serves 12 to 14. 24 ounce of egg salad, 24 ounce of pimento cheese, 24 ounce of pork barbecue. So there's 3 sandwiches.
Okay.
6 plain potato chips, 6 barbecue potato chips, 6 cookies, 6 Georgia pecan, caramel popcorn. No, I'm so hungry. A sleeve of 25 Masters branded souvenir cups. That would be cool to have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use those. I'd put those up. A sleeve of 12 sheets of the Masters branded wax paper, same thing. That's going up in the collection. I'm not even a golfer. Not a huge golf fan. I'd keep it, though. A pack of 12 Masters coasters. And hosting kit materials, I'm guessing that's napkins and plasticware, I guess. Bread and buns are not included. So there you have it.
They say that it sells out every year. It quickly sells
Well,
out.
the classic kit, which is smaller, it doesn't say how much it was. It is sold out. But you can sign up to be notified if they are able to fulfill it. Sign up to be notified of future offers. So I'm guessing the large hosting kit.
Okay, the small one is $99.95.
Okay.
4 to 6 people.
Yeah, and for that, you get 24 ounces of pimento cheese, 6 plain potato chips. I'm guessing they're the single-serving potato chips, I guess. 6 moon pies.
Yeah, the moon pies are $1.
I love moon pies. A sleeve of 12 of the cups, and then the 12 wax papers, the 12 coasters, and then the hosting kit materials. So really, it's just sandwiches, chips, moon pies. No, that's, or as I call it, lunch.
Shipped in temperature-controlled packaging.
Yeah. All right. Probably some dry ice and a insulated styrofoam box or something. Yeah.
And now I'm hungry.
No, seriously.
But I was reading the article on guilt tipping, and tipflation now has a word. And I was just, and it just came across where I saw the articles. I was looking at this one. I was scanning something else, and I saw the Masters menu was out. It's like, okay, what's it going to cost this? What's it going to cost this year? No, I've never been to Augusta, and I've never been to the Masters. So
I want to go just for the pimento cheese.
it would be nice. It would be, it would be cool to go. I mean,
No, it'd be an experience, even for someone
like.
like me. It would be a great experience. I would probably be more. I could make the case that I might be more in awe, only because I'm learning about certain things for the first time, than someone who knows more about the Masters. You know what I mean? And has always wanted to go. Maybe not. But I mean, I would just be one of these wide-eyed, guys. Just, oh my gosh, look at that! Oh my gosh, look at that!
Well, I read the book The Masters, and I would love that. It would be more of a. It would be great to see the golf and the impossible. That's, I think, what I want to look at, because I've golfed my whole life, and so to be able to see that course and go, oh my gosh, that's impossible. How could to see some of the great shots that have been made before,
Right.
and you just go, all right, that's an impossible shot. It's just impossible. You can't do that because it is I think it looks to me as an extremely tough golf course. I was watching a little bit of the golf yesterday from the Houston Open, and I'm like, boy, the scores aren't that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not that low.
Mm-hmm.
This course doesn't look that hard. The Masters, you see that course and you're like, this is hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But I would like to go see the history of. I mean, I don't mean to be maudlin here or anything, but where Cliff Roberts and Bobby Jones are the ones that created the Augusta, and Cliff Roberts committed suicide right on the grounds there. And it's like I know somebody would point out the spot, because those are just little things in history that because I think he did it around where the par 3 course is, because they've got the 2 courses. They've got the par 3 course too,
right?
That they play on.
Yeah.
And so just reading the history of that and just of the Masters in general would be interesting to see. But a lot of stuff you wouldn't get to see. Like probably you can't go in the clubhouse. I'm assuming they.
Right. Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. Am I worthy? No, McNamara. No, you're not worthy.
No. Nope.
Sorry, you can't come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my girlfriend's in there. A lot of people's girlfriends.
But
are in
Eric's pimento cheese sandwich is in there.
I hate to steal a line from Wayne's World, but I did there. But on the whole tipping thing, the rapid rise in tipping culture post-pandemic is causing a trend in people which is called tip creep. Recent surveys show shoppers are experiencing tip fatigue and starting to tip less, and result guilt tipping even more. And guilt tipping is when you buy something and then they turn around the screen for you to finish everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the tips are right there, 10, 20, 30% custom amount.
Well, and that's the thing is that, for me, I do it this way. So, like, if I'm at a drive-thru, Starbucks has now done the and here's what they'll say. You hold your card out, right? And then they hold the little scanner toward you. So you tap your card or insert your card, swipe your card. And they always say this. It's going to ask you a question first. And I always want to say, yeah? What question is that? Because the question is, would you like to tip? If so, how much? And I think to myself there, okay, if I go inside a Starbucks, and a couple of times a month, maybe. I don't go to Starbucks every day. But if I go inside, do I tip do I throw a tip, in the tip jar there? Yeah, then I would do it at the drive-thru, and I do. In a fast food situation where now there's one fast food chain that's based here in our area. It's kind of growing. And they started doing that. But then I realized, well, they give you a number for your table when you dine in. They give you a number, and then they take it out. The food they deliver to you. All right, on a whatever $8, $9 meal, is that worth $1? All right, they're kind of going beyond for the service, and I might tip $1. But on any other equation, where it's just they're asking you to tip just because it's an upsell, no, I really don't.
We'll have more on this tipflation next. 866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
USDA's Ag Price Index for February shows a pretty familiar pattern. We've seen a lot of that recently. Farmers getting some improved prices during the month, but not enough improvement to get prices up above February a year ago. The report shows ag prices rising 7% in February, but still down below prices a year ago by almost 5.5%. Farmers did get a little bit of a break in prices they had to pay to do business. Those prices dropping about 1.5% below year-ago levels. A quick look now at some commodities. Corn prices dropping by 38 cents in February, down to an average $4.36 a bushel. That's $2.44 less than what corn was bringing a year ago. Similar stories for wheat and soybeans. Now, one bright spot in all this, beef cattle. Prices keep rising as supplies get smaller. Prices averaging $178 a hundredweight, $20 higher than February of 2023. Gary Crawford reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Coming up following the bottom of the hour, we had talked about it earlier, both ESG for companies or investment groups and DEI for companies. There's a new poll on DEI, what Americans think about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And as we all know, in 2024, inclusion now means misogyny.
Yep.
Interesting how they got to that point. I mean, it's just... But on the whole tipping thing, nearly 3 in 4 Americans think tipping has gotten out of control, according to a recent Wallet Hub survey, specifically when it comes to predetermined point-of-sales options. That is up from 2/3 of Americans who had a negative view less than a year ago. Customers are being asked to tip at the more traditional service encounters and app-based services, rideshare and delivery apps. This gives a perception that tipping is everywhere, which does seem the case, said Tim Self, an assistant professor of hospitality in Tennessee. Indeed, the pressure to tip has increased over the past year. NerdWallet's consumer budgeting report also found a feeling now known as guilt tipping.
Yeah, okay.
Particularly when it comes to payment prompts with predetermined options that can range from between 15 and 35% for each transaction. The guilt kinds of washes over you. However, you are not obligated to tip, said the professor. Ultimately, it comes down to the consumer making that choice, and I think more people will get comfortable saying no. That's where I think a tip jar makes more sense. With inflation, shrinkflation, and tipflation.
Yeah.
Got a new one there.
Yeah.
Consumers are getting squeezed at every turn, and they know it. I mean, that's the whole point. It's like the kitchen appreciation fee when you're already paying more, and people saw that and went, "What's this?"
Well, that's it. It's there are a few things here. I've talked about how, like, if I order prepared food, DoorDash or Uber Eats or something, I will tip. There's no doubt I'm going to tip that driver. But I noticed the other day that I ordered on one of those services, and the suggested tip amount was 25% of the cost of the entire order. And I thought, well, that doesn't seem right. Why would I tip 25%? Or why would that start as the suggested amount? Then I looked into it, and the restaurant they were delivering from was a little bit further out. And I thought, all right. I went with a suggested tip, and I thought, well, sometimes I'll tip more than the suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
But when it was 25%, I was like, I guess I'll just stick with that. But that's something where it's a premium. It's a real premium, and I think you should be expected to tip, but not everybody does.
Tips now at full-service restaurants average 19.4% on average, down from 19.5% in 2018.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
And he's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. All right, we had talked about DEI earlier, along with ESG, and about how these things will be disappearing in the future because of lawsuits, discrimination lawsuits.
Right.
But a recent Rasmussen poll has shown that most Americans do not believe that diversity, equity, and inclusion ideology has improved entertainment or other products in industries where it has been implemented, and many believe that such policies are detrimental to these industries. Rasmussen outlined the results of a recent survey, which was conducted between March 10th and March 12th of this year. Among the various questions included in the survey, participants were asked if they believed DEI programs were improving products and entertainment. In a striking contrast, 56% of those who categorized themselves as very familiar with DEI policies declared that they believe such policies had made products and entertainment worse, while 31 and 35% of those who were somewhat or not very familiar answered in the same fashion. Rasmussen reports had pollster Mark Mitchell also examined a number of other DEI-related questions asked of the survey respondents. The same survey from March found that only 25% of respondents believed that DEI policies were improving companies, while 59% of respondents said that they felt that they either made no difference or made the companies worse. In terms of a demographic breakdown of these respondents, 72% of Republicans, 62% of independents answered that DEI policies either made companies worse or made no difference, with 52% of black and 63% of Hispanics responding likewise. Now, this may be one of my favorite questions ever that was asked here.
Yeah.
Aside from DEI, other eye-popping responses included answers to questions such as the statement, are you ready for this? It's okay to be white. And a question about the state of race relations in the United States.
Wow.
Fully 72% of the 1,000 respondents agreed with the phrase, it's okay to be white.
I'm sorry. What percentage?
72.
72.
Yes.
So 28% said, yeah, I don't know about that.
Now, only 69% of Democrat respondents said it's okay to be white, 83% of Republican.
So 17% of Republicans
Yes.
said, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Oh, man, get that 17% on the phone right now. We're going to have a chat. Got more questions for you.
It's okay
Poll
to be.
respondent.
I'm sorry. That's as dumb as my favorite talk radio question that I've ever heard asked before.
Yeah.
And it was a guy who I knew that was not. He got his pay cut. I knew the back. Even though I wasn't working at the station, I knew enough people there, and I got the background on it.
You knew why he was doing this.
I knew why he was doing it. Yes.
Yeah.
And because he'd gotten a pay cut and just said, I'm not going to, I'm just going to sit and do nothing. I'm just going to ask stupid questions and have the audience call. I'm not really I'm not going to create any content. I'm just going to get on there and ask a question.
Right.
And my nephew was in the car, so he's the other witness.
Yeah.
My nephew, Jamaican Irish. So, and we're in the, so he gets on and he goes, all right, my question for the day, whose fault is it? Blacks or whites? Give me a call now.
That was the entire question.
That's the entire question. And my nephew and I are looking at each other like, what's the context?
What?
What issue are we talking about?
Did we miss something?
And why would it be so specific to, to the entirety of the fault? And then I realized there was no context. It was simply, that was the question. Whose fault is it? Black or white? Blacks or whites?
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
so I've always called it the best and worst talk radio question ever asked.
Well,
Because we were rolling laughing, and then I knew the guy's situation. I explained it to my nephew. I said, he's just really ticked off, so he's just throwing out questions that he knows will upset management.
well, yeah.
How do you deal with the blowback to that? So what were you trying to find out? Well, I was doing a sociological experiment to find out how quickly people would rage and hate.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to start a fight. Can you imagine? My gosh, 17% of Republicans. No. It's not okay to be white.
It's not okay to be white.
I got so many questions.
The next question: if it's not okay to be white, what do we do about it?
Right. What is?
What's the?
What? How did? What is?
Oh my God!
Huh?
I'm gonna die laughing.
It's like it should be 100%.
Yes, exactly. Well, since you have no choice, it's not like, well, Obama said you can choose, but except for Obama, who
But
believes
so
that.
did Rachel Dolezal.
Rachel
Come on.
That wasn't it.
How'd that work out for her? My gosh, man. Seriously. But in an age where you have so many far-left liberals,
Yeah.
it's not okay. Okay, here's my question.
Well, the 17% are the never Trumpers that really aren't Republicans anymore, and they never were.
I don't even know what they
were never
what
concerned.
politically you categorize them as, but how many of them are white? You have to ask the question.
They must feel they're not if they're white.
Well, I mean, do they feel bad for who they are? I don't get that at all.
Is it okay to have blue eyes?
No.
Is it okay to have brown eyes?
No.
Is it okay to have a clinger nose? I mean, you could take this.
Is it okay to wear a mustache? No. Well, you heard him, ladies.
Oh
yeah, it's just so. But this is the world we live in. I mean, if you look at it the way that it's played out, with the far left and their agenda in recent years, then of course you're going to get these poll results here. Now, the good news is, still in each category, the majority say it's okay. You can't even say that. Think about that. Hey, the majority of people, not everybody, but the majority of people say it's okay to be white. The majority. I just got to sit down with those who said no. Okay.
Oh, I could guarantee I know who they are.
Yeah.
A significant portion of them would be on college campuses.
Yeah. Racking up college debt they want me to pay for them.
Well, look, it's okay to be white if you'll pay off my college debt.
Yeah. Right.
But if you don't, it's
like, well, what? Like you said, inevitably the follow-up question has to be, then what do we do about it? What should that person do? That person being white. If it's not okay to be white, what should they do?
I've always had the problems with tall people. It really inhibited my basketball career.
Oh, man, are you kidding me? I was 5'11" at one point. I'm now 5'10" and a half. And they say you lose height as you grow older, I'm not okay with that at all. At all.
Is it okay to be tall? I mean,
Barron Trump is 6'8". Is that unbelievable?
Is he really?
Yes.
6'8"?
Yes. And when he started to have that's not a growth spurt.
Wow.
That's like what happened to the Incredible Hulk in the lab.
How tall is Trump?
6'4".
Is he really? Okay.
It says here 6'7", but I saw for Barron. But I saw somewhere else where it was 6'8".
Okay,
but even 6'7".
I was put in 6'3". Okay, I figured he would be about. He seemed like he was that tall.
Donald
Trump.
Oh, Donald Trump. Yeah. Okay, and I've seen as much as 6'4". But maybe they're measuring him with shoes on. You know, sometimes they'll do that. Oh, we saw him, blah, 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 and by comparison, blah,
You
blah,
might be
blah, blah,
heightening.
blah, blah.
I saw that. In a Seinfeld episode.
Well, that's what Governor DeSantis is accused of doing.
Oh, it's true. He is, isn't he? Yeah.
Wearing things inside of his boots to make him taller. That's the accusation. I'm not saying that's going on, but that's what those who don't like the guy say about him.
Now, I did heighten at one time in my life,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't a lot. And it was simply because my feet and ankles were so bad when I was still playing basketball that I had that amount of cushion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like double Dr. Scholl's.
Yeah. It wasn't for the sake of being taller. You just needed the cushion.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember this is the last couple of years I played basketball. I'm not kidding. I'd be going down the court. If you're bouncing in your basketball shoes.
I don't think I could wear anything aside from those types of things. I don't think I could wear anything in my shoes. That would be annoying. You know, something to make you taller, because you basically have to make your heels taller, or you have to wear Kiss platforms like Gene Simmons.
Well, I had they were high tops.
Yeah, right.
They were high tops, and I had
which have a pretty flat sole.
Number one, I had.
Well, were they Converse high tops?
No, I don't even know.
Okay.
I forgot what they were. Some major Adidas or something.
Yeah, okay.
But they were really good. I mean, they really had the soft, initial inlay. I only used one Dr. Scholl's pad on top of that, though. But it was great. I mean, it was really. I had some arch problems at that time too, so I actually needed it. But they were extremely, extremely soft. But I had a lot of support. I taped my ankle. One side I taped my ankle and everything because it was that bad.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of support. I did not lose any type of balance at all. So
right.
It might have only been a quarter of a half inch at the most.
And it was throughout the entire shoe, not just in the heel, where those heightening things are apparently in the heel.
Yes, it was across the board.
Yeah.
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 But not as much in the front. It was more in the back, but
right.
But I think with your heel it pressed more into the material anyway.
Yeah.
And sort of
the average male height is 5'10".
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's still a half inch above average.
Well, that's what I was.
If I put my shoes on that I wear are hiking shoes, so they're a little bit, they add, I don't know, I haven't actually checked, but probably at least a half inch.
Is it okay to be 5'10"?
Yeah, well, I don't have any choice. I'm 5'10" and a half.
What's the survey say on that one?
Yeah, right. Is it? Yeah. Well, look, you see a lot of guys that are in shape, really great shape. Conor McGregor, by the way, I watched the Roadhouse, the new version of it over the weekend. It's all right. He's pretty wild in that, but he's not the tallest guy. But go ahead and tell him that's a problem. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should say he's the perfect height if you see him in person.
So did you buy that a bar like that could be in the Keys?
No.
Yeah, neither did I.
No, and I didn't buy that many people being in fights all the time in the Keys either. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think the Keys has recorded one fight in 80 years.
866-90-RED-EYE.
Lines open for your calls. 866-90-RED-EYE on Red Eye Radio.
Red Eye Radio, he's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. We've been BS'd so much in our society that April Fool's really has lost its impact.
Well, because every there's so much lying going on every day. This is amateur day at the White House. They would call this amateur day. You know? It's just unreal. But yet they still win elections. You know, they get away with it. The Democrats win elections. It's where we started, and you pointed out. Look, we're not in landslide territory in the polls. On the issues, Trump is, but not in the polls. It should be a lot wider in the polls right now, even at the 1st of April. But it's not. And we've always said you got to campaign like you're 20 points behind every day.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.